Alright, so I'm going to follow this chart along real quick and then we're going to get to the fuse holder thing. It says measure from line side of L1, which is where the black lead is, to the load side of L2. So by reading 208, we know phase to phase we should read 208. And if this fuse is good, if L2 is good, it's going to pass it down here. So just by making that measurement, we know this middle fuse is good. Then it says measure voltage from line side of L2 to load side of L1. So basically we're just going to swap these. And this time we'll be checking L1 and we're reading 208. So that indicates that um, um, we got a good fuse there for L1 or it couldn't pass it down to here. Then the next thing is measure voltage from line side of L3 to load side of L2. So here's load side and here's line side, and we're reading 208. Then it wants us to swap those. Whoops, I didn't mean to close the door. And take, so let's move it back. And now we've got 120. So that indicates this fuse here is bad because if it's at the top, which means we got phase to phase voltage of 208, but we're not passing it to the bottom, then we've got a bad L3. And I assume this is where it wants you to turn off power and do the lockout tag out and all that. But let's read. So we did all that. Measure, we did that. Did that, I think. So I think this fuse is bad because it's not passing. Because if I go to the top of it, I got 208, but if I go to the bottom of it, I've got only 120. So it's not passing this phase down to the bottom. And we're reading back through the neutral is what we're doing. Wait a minute, that was off. I must have clicked that at some point. So I'm thinking we don't have any bad fuses. What did I do here? Dad burning, I hate when I inadvertently click the wrong thing, and that may be what happened to you. So let's just step that through. I'm not going to try to follow the chart, but phase to phase, we should be 208. Now, if we go down here, we should still be 208 if this first fuse is good, and it is. So I'm going to move it back up, and I'm going to bring this one down, and we should still be 208 if that fuse is good, and it is. So I'm going to do the same thing over here. I'm going to read from, and if I'll quit switching the thing on and off, there we go, 208. And we already know this middle one's good, but we can check it again. Yep, still 208. We can go back to the top. If I can click on the right thing and go down here, still 208. So bottom line, I don't think we have any fuses, but it's saying we can actually measure them using continuity. So I'm going to switch the meter off and bring these back to where they were. And I'm going to shut off the power, and I'm going to unplug this guy. I'm going to put him in his outlet box, close it, lock it. There we go. I'm going to reopen the door. We're off, and we're going to grab the fuse puller. And I may actually have to read directions on how to use this thing. There it went. So I assume you manipulate that in and just pull. There we go. So now we've got the fuse out. So it's kind of backwards looking. That threw me for a minute. So we should go to our meter, set it to measure the lowest ohms, which I think I found out is right there. If I slide that over, we can see the dial. So I'm on the 200 ohm scale. I'm going to measure across that fuse. And we should read close to 0 ohms, and we do on this guy. And the reason we have to take it out is to make sure we're not measuring anything in the circuit. So we're going to put that puppy back, do the same thing here, measure that guy, 0.3, so that looks good. And we'll return him back to the nest here. Go over to this guy, wait for him to hopefully turn red. Oh, he's being bothersome. I wonder if that's because I'm zoomed out of the graphic. There we go. zoomed in a little more. Let's get the other way. Works splendidly for 2. Works fine for that one. All right, behave yourself. Yeah, I can't get it to work on that third either. It turned red for just a second there. Well, I'm going to refresh the page and come back to the same state. Nothing's going to change measurement-wise until we do something different. So I'm just going to refresh and see if I can get that third one out of there. So here we go. This thing's going to be a little faster. Now then, we're locked out. We want to unplug this guy, put him in the box, close the lid, put the lock on, set this guy to 200 ohms. There we go. Plug in our leads. And we'll open the box, and we're going to bring on fuse puller. Yep, worked right away that time. So it just hiccuped, I guess, and that's probably what happened to you as well. But there we go, 0.3. So we thought that fuse was good. It is. So bottom line, all 3 fuses check out, doing both the cross method and, I didn't mean to close that, but it did put the fuse back in, so that's a plus. So anyway, the cross check method and the ohming out method checked out. The fuses are indeed good. But if they were blown, for instance, if I were to take one of those out, and I don't know if I can or not, but we'll try it. What's the worst that could happen? Turn this thing, unplug it. It may not even let me do that. It appears it won't. But if that fuse is open, it wouldn't pass this between the top terminal and the bottom terminal, so you get the basic idea, even if I can't emulate it here. So a blown fuse is just like a missing fuse.